Theo Fleury, a pint-sized superstar, hit the ice at age 5. He was a hockey phenom at 14, a Stanley Cup champion at 20, and an Olympic gold medalist at 33. He was also harboring a terrible, horrible secret, one that could easily be described as heartbreaking. As a teen, he was being sexually assaulted by one of his coaches, and hockey became an escape, but it couldn't fix everything. He faced addiction and suicidal thoughts because of his inner anguish. Today, Fleury is sober, but what did it take for him to get there? This is the incredible tale of Fleury, who started from an unexpected place, rose to fame, then went through a tough time in his personal life while trying to break free from his past torments. Early life of the Fleury. Theo Fleury, born on June 29, 1968, in Oxbow, Saskatchewan, was the eldest of Wally and Donna Fleury's 3 sons. Wally, a former hockey player, had his dreams cut short by a leg injury during a baseball game in 1963, which led to struggles with alcohol. Donna, a quiet and religious woman, also faced battles with drug addiction. This is why Fleury describes his childhood as a time of constant turmoil. He says he lived in fear due to his father's alcoholism and his mother's addiction to prescription pills. His early years were complete chaos. Despite being one of the smallest kids in his class and facing instability at home, Fleury, driven by determination, adopted hockey as an outlet. He started playing at age 5 with borrowed skates and a broken stick. Accompanying his father to the arena in the early morning hours, he developed somewhat a passion for the sport. In 1982, at age 13, Fleury faced another setback when he suffered a deep cut under his arm that severed his brachial artery and threatened his NHL dreams, but community support and a fundraising effort sent him to the Andy Murray Hockey School. And it was at the hockey school that Fleury crossed paths with Graham James, a scout for the Winnipeg Warriors. Despite his size, James recognized Fleury's talent and promised to recruit him for junior hockey when he was ready. This was the moment when Fleury thought it would be the beginning of his incredible, dreamed, and passionate hockey adventure. But a hidden, more sinister element was present and a darker twist awaited. So when Fleury grew older, Graham James persuaded the authorities to allow 14-year-old Fleury to relocate to Winnipeg with him. James pledged to take care of Fleury, but unknown to Fleury and his parents, this agreement might have hastened Fleury's hockey career at the expense of his well-being and soul. And then, when I was 14 years old, over 2.5-year period of my life, I was 150 times by my coach. What I was left to deal with was the aftermath of all of these traumatic experiences. And so I never slept for 27 years, never slept a wink, because I was in a dark room where I couldn't see anything. And so every time I shut my eyes at night, I was in that dark room waiting for this man to force himself upon me. Junior hockey. In 1983-84, when he was 15, Fleury started playing junior hockey with the St. James Canadians in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. The next year, he joined the Moose Jaw Warriors, who were now coached by James Young. Feeling scared and confused, he didn't know where to go for help because people didn't talk much about these problems in the 1980s. In order to manage the trauma, he had to go through it on his own. So, the 16-year-old Fleury began to consume alcohol, and according to Fleury, drinking became something he could not live without. It was like oxygen or hockey. Fleury caught a break when James had to leave his position in Moose Jaw and returned to Winnipeg. Standing at 5'6" and weighing 150 pounds, Fleury showed improvement in his performance each year during his 4 years in the WHL. His best season was in 1987-88 when he scored 68 goals and had 92 points, tying him with Joe Sakic for the league's scoring lead. Being consistently one of the smallest players on the ice, Fleury quickly learned that he needed to adopt an unpredictable style of play to hold his own against bigger opponents. He discovered that the most effective way to defend himself was by playing a spirited and physical game, aiming to intimidate his rivals. This approach often resulted in opponents taking retaliatory penalties, leading to disagreements with his coaches. In his last junior year, Fleury spent 235 minutes in penalties, nearly 100 more than any other top 10 scorer in the WHL. This aggressive style remained a constant throughout his hockey career, regularly catching opponents off guard and challenging the notion that size was a decisive advantage in the game. But during the 1987-88 season, Fleury's life became more complex when he became a father with his high school girlfriend, Shannon. At his final home game, the Warriors organized a special night for Fleury, retiring his number 9, which now hangs in the Raptors at the Mosaic Palace. Achievements. Fleury had the honor of representing Canada twice at the World Junior Hockey Championships. His first appearance was in the 1987 tournament in Piastany, Czechoslovakia, which gained notoriety for the punch-up in Piastany on January 4, 1987. During the game, Fleury scored the first goal and celebrated by using his stick to mimic firing a machine gun at the Soviet bench, a move criticized by Canadian officials. The brawl erupted early in the second period, with Canada leading 4-2, sparked by a clash between Fleury and Pavel Kostichkin. The fight escalated into a full-blown brawl involving all players on the ice, resulting in both teams being disqualified from the tournament. This cost Fleury and the Canadians a chance at a medal, possibly the gold. The International Ice Hockey Federation initially suspended all players involved for 18 months from international tournaments, but the bans were later reduced to 6 months upon appeal. This reduction allowed Fleury to participate in the 1988 tournament in Moscow, where he was named captain, finished second in team scoring with 8 points in 7 games, and earned a spot on the tournament all-star team as Canada claimed the gold medal. Despite his junior accomplishments, Fleury faced disappointment in the 1986 NHL entry draft, going unnoticed in all 12 rounds. No NHL scout, coach, or general manager believed he could make it in the NHL. However, in 1987, Calgary Flames scout Ian McKenzie saw potential in Fleury, and despite objections from others, GM Cliff Fletcher drafted him in the 8th round, 166th overall. The pick caused a stir, with Chief Scout Al McNeil expressing his frustration. Nevertheless, Fleury impressed at the 1987 Flames training camp, surprising everyone. After signing his first pro contract worth $415,000, he joined the Flames International Hockey League affiliate, the Salt Lake City Golden Eagles. Fleury made a strong impact, contributing to the Eagles' Turner Cup championship. Arriving at the Flames' 1988 training camp overweight, Fleury was sent back to Salt Lake for the 1988-89 season, where he dominated the league with 37 goals and 37 assists in 40 games. The Flames called Fleury back in 1989, and he had a great start in his first NHL season, scoring 34 points in 36 games. He played with tough guys Tim Hunter and Brian McClellan. In the playoffs, he added 11 points, helping the Flames win their first Stanley Cup. It was a super happy day for Fleury and his family. Fans in Calgary loved Fleury for his energetic and physical playing style. As he became more popular on the ice, he also enjoyed fame off the ice. Fleury got the money, fame, and lifestyle, saying, "I made the most of it. What was I going to do? Slow down, stay home, and watch TV every night. Forget it." After a good first season in 1989-90 with 33 goals, Fleury had an even better year in 1991, scoring 51 goals and 104 points. He played in the 1991 NHL All-Star Game and was a big part of the team, tying for the NHL's plus-minus lead with plus 48. Even with a hurt knee, Fleury insisted on playing and scored his 50th goal on March 26, 1991. It was a tough injury that stayed with him in the playoffs, but his overtime goal against the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6 became legendary. Fleury also played for Team Canada in the 1991 Canada Cup and started the 1991-92 season strong with 25 goals by December. But things got tough when Doug Gilmour was traded away in January, and the Flames and Fleury faced challenges. The glory days seemed to be over for the team. Over the next 8 seasons, Fleury kept being a key player, with 2 100-point seasons and 5 more NHL All-Star games. Even though he was the Flames' most loved player, Fleury had personal problems with growing off-ice troubles and his anger affecting his game. Fleury, recognizing that his edge set him apart from other smaller players aspiring to join the NHL, faced a resurgence as the source of much of his anger in 1994. During the 1994 lockout, Fleury played in Finland and gained much love from the fans. Upon his return to Calgary after the lockout, he received a surprising call from Graham James. James was putting together an ownership group for a proposed junior team in Calgary called the Hitmen, and he wanted Fleury to be the primary investor. Fleury agreed, investing $125,000, and the Calgary Hitmen were established. The Hitmen venture brought criticism, especially after revelations about James's wrongdoings. Despite personal struggles and a Crohn's disease diagnosis, Fleury continued to play well for the Flames. In 1997, he set a franchise goal-scoring record, from greatness to destruction. In 1998, Fleury played in the Winter Olympics, but his performance dipped afterward. Financial issues led to his trade to the Colorado Avalanche in 1999. Despite surprising fans, Fleury excelled in the playoffs. After a brief stint with the Avalanche, he joined the New York Rangers. In New York, Fleury found it difficult on and off the ice. His first year was disappointing, and personal issues grew. In 2000, he voluntarily entered a program to address dependency and emotional problems. Then Fleury bounced back in the 2000-2001 season, scoring 30 goals and earning a spot in his 7th NHL All-Star game. Despite leading the Rangers and being 4th in the league with 74 points in 62 games, his season took an unexpected turn. The Rangers announced that Fleury had re-entered the league-mandated rehabilitation program, ending his season. He wasn't expecting, but Wayne Gretzky, the general manager, invited Fleury to Canada's selection camp for the 2002 Olympics. This invitation sparked controversy due to Fleury's recent behavioral issues. Seeking to prove himself, Fleury claimed he stayed clean for the first half of the 2001-2002 NHL season, describing it as a dry drunk period. He earned a spot on the Olympic team and contributed 2 assists in 6 games as Canada won its first Olympic gold medal in 50 years. Fleury considers this championship the pinnacle of his career. While staying clean for the Olympics, Fleury struggled with another habit, gambling. In this period alone, he lost at least $3 million. Upon returning to New York after the Olympics, his off-ice life returned to destructive patterns. Engaging in obsessive gambling, combined with a resurgence of dependency issues, Fleury became unraveled both on and off the ice. After the season, the Rangers decided not to keep Fleury, even when he offered to play at a reduced rate due to guilt. General manager Glenn Sather straightforwardly told Fleury's agent that the team couldn't afford to have him, even if he played for free. Even with the well-publicized issues and declining performance, Fleury attracted interest from multiple teams and eventually signed a 2-year, $8.5 million contract with the Chicago Blackhawks, reuniting with his favorite coach, Brian Sutter, from Calgary. However, just 2 days before the 2002-2003 season opening, Fleury got suspended by the NHL for violating terms of the league's dependence recovery program. This suspension kept him out of the first 2 months of the season. When he returned, Fleury's once signature speed was gone, and he became a negative influence, according to an NHL scout. In January 2003, he got involved in a brawl with nightclub bouncers in Columbus, Ohio, describing it as one of the lowest points in his life. In March, Fleury was placed on waivers, but no team claimed him. He played his final NHL game on April 4, 2003, with the Blackhawks, scoring 12 goals and adding 21 assists in 54 games that season. While riding a cardio bike at the gym a few weeks later, he expressed his frustration, saying, "I hate my life. I hate the game. I can't do this anymore." Without informing the Blackhawks, he walked out of the practice facility and quit hockey. Just days later, the NHL suspended Fleury again for violations of his mandated rehab program. Whether he wanted to continue playing or not, the NHL was done with Theo Fleury. Feeling lost and despondent, Fleury retreated to the New Mexico desert, going completely off the rails. In January 2005, he was in such a dark place that he considered ending his own life. Seeking normalcy, Fleury joined the Horse Lake founder of the North Peace Hockey League, a Canadian senior league. Later, he was convinced by a friend to move to Northern Ireland and play with the Belfast Giants of the Elite Ice Hockey League for the 2005-2006 season. His arrival was a big news in Ireland, as he became the biggest signing of all. Fleury had a remarkable stint with the Belfast Giants in 2005-2006, scoring 22 goals and providing 52 assists in 34 games as they won the regular season title. He was then described as the most talented player to ever play in the United Kingdom, and he was named the EI Hills Player of the Year. His significant accomplishment in Ireland came on September 18, 2005, when he achieved sobriety, crediting this achievement to his second wife, Jennifer. Away from hockey until 2009, at the age of 41, Fleury aimed to return to the NHL. He hired a personal trainer and received a tryout offer from the Flames, expressing a desire to prove to himself that he could still play at the NHL level. Retirement. After playing 4 exhibition games and scoring 4 points, he was released on September 28, 2009. Fleury officially announced his retirement, expressing gratitude to the Flames for allowing him to attempt a comeback. His jersey number 14 has not been worn since he left the Flames, but it has not been officially retired. Fleury's autobiography, Playing with Fire, released on October 16, 2009, created havoc. It detailed his traumatic experience with Graham James, and he hoped that speaking out would encourage other victims to come forward. The autobiography became the top-selling non-fiction book in Canada in October 2009. In January 2010, Fleury filed a complaint with the Winnipeg police against James, leading to James pleading guilty and receiving an additional 2 years in prison. Beyond hockey, Fleury's post-playing life has been busy. He ventured into the cement business, participated in Skating with the Stars, released a second book, launched a clothing line, and explored country music. Engaging in many charities and Flames alumni benefit events, he co-founded the non-profit Breaking Free Foundation to support survivors of traumatic life events. Fleury is now an impactful public speaker and has been associated with Canadians for Truth, expressing controversial opinions on political issues in Canada. Fleury has become a guiding light for many, yet he was overlooked by the Hockey Hall of Fame. Should Theo Fleury be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame? Share your thoughts in the comments below.